Hello again, friends, and welcome back to the Talking Town Bar. It is half-time on the match day, so the match day ticket half-time show is here. I'm once again joined by Mr. Stephen Thomson.
Hello.
And Mr. Neil Mowles. The moment of the game for me didn't come in the game. It came at half-time when Neil Mowles opened his Diet Coke and gave us all a glimpse of the Diet Coke advert, a famous advert. We all know it. There it is. I don't want you to. So, Town going at half-time trailing, not for the first time. What do we think of that first half then, guys? Because it's a tricky one, really. I don't know if people are watching this looking at us for inspiration to give them. But Callie tries. He says Simpson's hold-up ball is better than Hawkins, and Ando and Varel look like quality players. By the way, can anyone say Ando's name without putting the McCarthy twang on it? Andor.
Jesus Christ.
No, finish that sentence.
No.
The commentators said that he had a really good first half, or he was looking really good. I'd say it was a smidge shaky early on, but he did get a lot better. To be fair, and Ndaba seemed a little bit shaky to start with as well.
He's playing left back, isn't he? He is, though, isn't he?
I don't think so, but are we saying Smith's a bit quiet out that side?
Yes. I'm glad you picked up.
Because basically, Bennett, who's on left midfield, I was thinking to start with he was rather quiet. He wasn't really showing, I'm here for the first team. This is what I can do. He picked up the ball and done a couple of runs, but on the whole, yeah, he didn't quite do enough for me.
Jacob,
I'd say in the centre of the park, we're missing a steady hand there. They're all they're busy doing their bits, but
don't make him say it again.
No, I'm not having him.
We all know who Steve's going to come up with. He said it about 4 times off air.
What? You can't beat a bit of Kolski's, can you?
Steve, you're in love with the man.
He's a silver fox, isn't he?
Jacob Farrow, I was excited to see the boys play, but this slow build-up play is really nail biting. I hope is he being serious there? Because I would have finished that sentence completely different to nail biting. It would have been boring. I made a cake halfway through that first half. It was woeful. Not the cake, that was rather nice, but the first half. Well, I don't know what to say about it because it was just so bad.
There was nothing stand out there.
I wouldn't say it was bad. We don't normally get from our first team.
Sorry, you dropped out and dropped back in there. Say it again.
There were positives that we don't see from our first team. Basically, in the first team, every time we give the ball away, which when we just hump it diagonally long and give it away, we then drop off. The whole time, the defensive way seems normally drop off, get your positions. This team is push up, press, try and get the ball back. I'm more happy with that style than I am the other one. And at least we're getting it from these lads.
Nick Muller. Now, Nick Muller's very positive normally. Nick Muller is like, if it's a bit grey, it's still blue and it's still okay. He says just awful. Just awful from Nick Muller. Now, that's when you need to stop the press because Nick loves the club, as we all do, and he's a very positive guy. If he says it's just awful, trust me, it's just awful.
It's painful. You can sort of see what the kids are trying to do. You can see what they're aiming for, but the execution is just awful. The amount of times they've hoofed it forwards, and it's just coming straight back, and everyone's having to fall back really quickly. And it is a shame because with a club of this sort of record and this history in cups and things, to not give a toss about something like this is embarrassing and it's painful to watch.
Particularly with
I can't see an equaliser coming. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the guys have got to keep match fitness and they've got to, stay ready and stay not warmed up, but stay fit really. And I would expect it, just even if they're on the bench, just some senior players to come on for the second half or the last 20 minutes, But
Adam Flapp
Okay.
makes a fantastic point. Nothing more than a glorified under 18, under 23 game. Let's move on. I would move on if I hadn't parted with 10 English pounds. Then I would happily scrunch up my paper bit of team sheet. I'd get at Playford Road and walk out in disgust and call up Mr. Neil and say, Neil, let's go to the pub.
Have you not seen any positives in that first half at all? Is
Okay,
there
let's break it
nothing
down.
you can comment on and say was good? Like I
Not
picked out a
good,
few
no.
things.
I could
the
pick out
first half
something.
whistle when it ended was good.
Normally it's Neil asking the negative stuff, and I'm saying to Neil, sure, it must be something positive you can say, Neil. I tell you what I will say, David Cornell. I'm starting to get a bad feeling that if we ever see him in league action, it ain't going to be a good day. Because the goal today, for me, was avoidable. It's a good cross, but the guy headers it inside the 6-yard box, and anytime the ball falls inside the 6-yard box, you'd always be saying, why is the goalkeeper not making moves towards the ball? And then even the header itself, it wasn't a great header. And I thought it actually went under him. I don't know. I'm not.
Who was the nearest centre back to the lad who was not exactly the biggest man in the world?
Did we have any?
I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows anything. Alan Viral. Do your gag, Neil.
I felt Crow played okay. He looked quite, and I loved the nutmeg he done. Absolute
That was
pointless
brilliant.
giveaway afterwards, but the meg he got in, love it.
I would say Ando is looking good, but how can I judge Ando today? Like, he's not playing anybody. Do you know what I mean? That's like me. That's like, how can you judge? I can't even give you an analogy, because it's just how can I judge how well Ando is playing, or even Simpson for that matter, when even Crawley are playing what you would say is their reserves. I said to you two guys off air, this shows to me how bloated of a squad we've got, because Gillingham make changes in the EFL Trophy and they bring kids in because that is their reserves. Like, if their first player gets injured, they are literally down to the young players coming in. This is the reserves of the reserves. Like, as Marcus Stewart was saying about, players who are on the fringes of the first team during that commentary. This is the players on the fringes of the fringes.
It's not right.
That's what we said pre-match, though, wasn't it? The fact that the likes of McGavin and all of them youngsters that are trying to break in, they're not even seeing this game. It's the ones below them.
Yeah, and
It's got to hurt people like McGavin, hasn't it?
well,
Because they want to push for the first team, and then they're being overlooked for the younger kids. So, if
Who
it
in the
was
centre
me,
of the?
I'd be quite offended by that. So that I've shown you what I can do, and I want to push for the first team, and I've played with the first team. But then for a cup game, you're leaving me out to play these guys.
And we can't judge Gibbs, who I thought was sloppy in that first half, but we can't really judge these players because the standard isn't where it needs to be, is it?
I was going to say, who in the centre of the park has stood out for you? What are your thoughts there?
Gibbs has been sloppy on the ball and has been a bit loose with it. I thought you can get to him a little bit. Looking at other midfield, I mean, Viral. I just struggle to say if he's been in the game at all.
He has.
Doesn't stand out, does he?
He used his. He done a few good things, but that's what I was saying. We need like that steady hand in the middle there, because the three youngsters isn't quite working.
Which we said pre-game. It's almost like us three know our onions. Adam Flatt, this tournament is an inconvenience for a lot of clubs. Bring back proper. I completely agree with that. And this is probably leading to a segment on a podcast somewhere, because I think this tournament is football for football's sake, quite frankly. Like, if we're looking at football clubs as businesses, and no one wants to look at them as businesses anymore, but they are businesses, even if fans were allowed in today, give me a a figure on what you think the attendance would be. Would it be a sellout? Because anything short of a sellout, you have to question why we're even bothering.
It wouldn't be a sellout.
Mine, you fully well know this wouldn't be a sellout. This would be
50%. Would it be 50%?
We'd probably be thrown in half the stadium.
Yeah.
They'd probably even cordon off the other stands just so we're all in one bit, so they don't have to bother opening and turning the lights on in other bits of the ground.
And I don't mean just football and I'm going to go off a tangent here, but I don't mean this competition. I mean, actually, there's too much football in general. Like, there's too many competitions. There's too many different things, and it just all gets fragmented. And then in the end, you get left with a competition.
Thing is, in a silly way, that is how I was trying to explain it, in the pre-show. What is this competition? What is the point of it?
I mean, no, you're right. Because if this was the EFL Trophy for the reserves, so the under-23s EFL Trophy, for example, then I wouldn't be sat here right now. And neither would half the people watching the IFL, would they? Because it would be under-23s are playing. Oh, okay, great. Am I wrong in saying that?
Not as such.
You bang on.
If they're at home, I'll go. But I wouldn't go out my way on a Tuesday evening to watch.
I struggle to see myself, if we happen to win this cup, me going down the street going, woohoo, we that won this cup. Because who cares? No one cares.
Get a star.
No one cares about this cup.
Oh, teams are back out.
Papa John's trophy.
They're more than back out. They're actually kicking a ball around.
Are they really? Not. Oh,
yeah,
they
haven't given it away yet either.
Look at that! Look, we're still at 60 plus numbers. Right, we'll be back at full time. As you can see, the conversation really is like being in a pub. We take it off in a tangent and bring it back again. Back at full time for the full time analysis and have your say. Join us then. See you then. With love, with care. Where is the correct one? There it is.